Hello Luiginoids, this is LuigiXRules, and I am back playing Hollow Knight. Not blind anymore, because I've already beaten the game, if you remember. We already completed this, only 109%. There's 3 more percent. Maybe I'll grind it out eventually, but not today. So this one, I believe I marked it as, this is technically a bonus video, and you already know what it is, based on the title, but if we go into quests here, which by the way, apparently this quests tab only appears on the Switch version. So I guess that's another way you could tell that I'm playing on the Switch version. Because like these quests, I was right, they are actually achievements in other versions of the game. But anyway, in this episode we are going to, well, stuff like this neglect here. There are certain achievements or quests that are outright impossible to obtain in the same file. And so in this episode, we are going to collect most of these achievements. There is one achievement that we will, or, like, I don't know if I'll be adding the speedrun achievements into this video. We'll see how long those take and how long the other achievements take. And because I haven't like planned for them or anything, so I don't know how hard they're going to be. But Steel Soul and Steel Heart, no guarantees I'll get those. Steel Soul mode will be covered in its own video as well. So that's like about 3 videos, one to cover general achievements that are just straight up impossible to obtain on this file. Oh yeah, and I guess I wanted to show off on the bottom here to show a couple of other achievements that I will not be covering in these missed achievements, which would be all of these at the bottom are achievements that you get for completing various pantheons in God mode. Like we did Inspiration, only the second one. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that I beat the second one first try, but not the first one. But so yeah, so I won't be collecting those in this. Maybe one day I will grind them out, same with like pure completion, but so in this video we will be starting a new file. As I said, we're not doing Steel Soul yet, we're doing Classic. Let's go. I don't remember this. Was this in the... Was that in the intro? Like, in the first video? Or like when we first started this game? Because I don't remember that. Pretty sure this is not meant to be the first charm you obtain, but... That's one thing I wanted to do in this second playthrough, is since I'm not really going for speed right now, I wanted to go, I wanted to try some other thing. I want to try doing things in a bit of a different order than I did last time. Man, it's so weird not having the dash anymore. Anyway, yay for scrub. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to see is if we could get to Crystal Peak right away. Like, I know I don't have Lumify Lantern, but I imagine we'll get stopped before too long anyway. Actually, yikes, Lumify Lantern did help quite a bit, didn't it, huh? Oh, turns out you can't even go this way, can you? Alright, I'll return with a Lumify Lantern. But I wanted to see if I could go there, like, immediately without even fighting the first boss. And I was planning on, buying Lumafly Lantern first, like, as like my very first purchase. We'll see if I end up doing that in the end here. Because I don't know if I'm gonna find enough Geo to be able to afford that. But we'll see. And of course, in order to buy Lumafly Lantern early, we need to take care of... Eventually we'll get there. We need to take care of this guy earlier. Shouldn't be too hard. I mean, see, look at that, already dead. I remember I was super worried about, like, fighting that guy. That Gru's mother. Yeah, sure, spawn all your hatchlings. They're not the infected ones. I wonder what happens if you, like, wait until the infection starts before fighting the Gru's mother. Oh, those don't give Geo. Oh, interesting. Didn't realize we couldn't even access this shop and bench without the dash. Alright, buddy. I know your secret. Come on, go back to your shop so that you can sell the Lumafly Lantern. Alright, let's take a look here. How expensive is it? From what I remember, it's like $11.50. Let's see. Oh god, no, it's 1800. Oh, we're not even close. Oof. Alright. Ooh, it's gonna take a bit more. I could technically grind it out, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to wait until I find enough Geo repositories to be able to afford it. Because I'm really curious. But I guess I'll go ahead and fight the first boss. I think it's absolutely hilarious just how slow this guy is on earlier fights. Did I die to him on the first time I fought him? Because, man, is that easy going back to it. Alright, before even defeating Hornet, it's time to purchase the Lumafly Lantern. Now let's see what was going on in that room that we couldn't really see in. Here we go. Hey, I actually have enough Geo to afford that. So, it's weird how it wasn't, I don't think it was actually letting me inspect it without... Crap. without the Lumafly Lantern, so that's an interesting way of locking this area behind the Lumafly Lantern. So I'm sure if I would have, like, grinded up enough Geo, then I could have gotten here even before defeating the false knight. But why bother, right? I'm sure there's going to be a roadblock somewhere in here before long anyway. Oh, weird, we can't jump high enough to reach that loading zone. Oh yeah, one other thing that I learned is that, from looking through the controls, you could kind of see me doing it there. Apparently you can just tilt the right stick to look up and down. You don't have to hold in the left stick for super duper long. Jeez Louise, I hate these guys. God, they just keep comboing me. I can't do anything about it. And... oh boy. Looks like we're actually gonna get to see something though. I got that Fury of the Fallen way earlier. And yeah, that looks like it increases your damage by quite a bit. I mean, we took that guy out in 4 hits instead of the 7 that it's been taking. Now here's something I'm curious about here. Because we're in the resting grounds now. It's like, how do we escape from here without tram pass or the ability to charge downward? I actually have an idea of how it'll happen, but hey, now I know that, because this is like absolutely required, this part, because you need to, yeah, because you need to look at this to get the dream nail. Yep, dreamer location's added to the map, and we're only like an hour in. Go no further, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know. Then they try to lock us in the dream, but then we escape, and then... so yeah, interesting. So when I complete the game in under 5 hours, I believe I'll want to just like grind up Geo and then head here immediately. Where am I going? Oh, sorry. Hey, I just realized, is that the... hang on. Is that boss that we fought, do you think? Like, it kind of looks like the secret, Radiance boss. Weird. Alright. Oh, you know what? It's probably just a moth. Alright. Let's get the dream nail. Now our objective would be to collect all of the dreamer people and then go to the Black Egg Temple. One of those dreamers seems like it's going to require the ability to charge down, though. Alright. Yes, I've returned, buddy. Alright, now for what I'm curious about is how do we escape? Because a tram takes us here. Oh yeah, I can do this. Because a tram takes us here, or we can charge down and then go to the City of Tears, which is kind of funny though because you need the ability to or you unlock the ability to charge down in the City of Tears itself, but whatever. Yep, look at that, they even led you here. Can't do it though, because I can't charge down. Now for my idea of how we get out of here. I bet it has something to do with this stag station. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that. Yep, just as I figured, the stag station costs no geo. So that's how you get out of here. And first time talking to him, so he'll introduce themselves, and now we can escape. Cool. So now I wanted to try doing some other things without fighting Hornet first. let's see how far we can push this. Oh yeah, we need to hit that. Like, one of the things is, can we get the Crystal Heart without fighting Hornet? And then, you can't really get up there without, dashing, but I would believe it if, we technically could, like, bounce off of those guys to get up there. But I'm not going to try it. And then, oh boy, there was this area. And it looks like this path only leads to resting grounds. Alright, so it looks like that might be all we can really do in Crystal Peak without a little bit of cheese. I don't feel like doing the cheese right now, but I am wondering if we can get Mantis Claw without fighting Hornet. And like, I'm thinking of a way that we might be able to. Yeah, I could do Stone Sanctuary. Oh my god, I can make that the Dreamer in the Stone Sanctuary. That one fight in the Stone Sanctuary, my first Dream Warrior. Alright. So here's my idea. They do intend on you bouncing on those guys sometimes. I remember when I first played this game, I went to Fog Canyon and then I like got scared and then I stopped. Luckily we don't have to worry about the Dream Shield taking care of these jellyfish guys. I'm pretty sure this way would lead to the teacher's archives. But I think it's like you have to open it from the other direction though. Yeah, looks like it. Dang. You can just ignore Hornet completely and go straight to Fungal Wastes through Queen's Station. Did I ever encounter you here? Is this something I'd not expected to discover so huge a stack? I probably did talk to this one. Probably did talk to Quirtle here, didn't I? Oh. Okay. This is how they prevent you from going this way. There's a gap there that you need to dash across. Alright, so looks like they've thought out their design pretty well, and we need to fight Hornet. Sounds like someone's struggling up there. I'm sure they'll be fine. Alright, so it's right here where I think you could probably bounce off of an enemy. So if you go a little higher here, there's this guy who seems like he would be in like the perfect spot for you to like be able to bounce over here without needing the nail. Oh boy, I've got more of the miners. Interesting. You can hit their pickaxes back. That seems to deal more damage than my nail. Yeah, this is just as I figured. There would be some of these things that prevent us from going any higher anyway. Alright. Looks like we can't really do much else without Mantis Claw. Hi, we'll get to the achievement soon, I promise, but, real quick, I wanted to mention, I can't show where we are on the map very well, because I didn't buy the quill or the compass, but we're, oh man, I can't even set markers, but, right around here, like the deep nest to, fungal wastes entrance. I wanted to show off, because we never went here before the infection. So, we never actually got to fight these guys. These are mossy vagabonds. Last time we got here, they were all infected already. Let's listen to him. Oh, radiant being, we are blessed. Your rays touch us. Your warmth fills us. Yeah, we never saw the moss prophet. He's already fairly infected. Hollow Nest is born again, united in your blazing image. Oh. See what you think. Blinding, rising, never be empty. Alright, and then I think this entrance opens up from Queen's Gardens. Alright. Yeah, it's weird. We just never saw these guys. They're just big versions of the other guys, it looks like. Alright, that's all I wanted to show off here. You know, come to think of it, I guess I should have bought the quill and the wayward compass just so I can show off where I am. Like, I don't even have a map for this area, but this is horrible. Bottom line is I'm in Green Path right now. Well, that don't look good. Neglect. So, this happened because I did not save him before receiving the Mantis Claw. If you do that, then Zote dies, which means you cannot fight the Grey Prince Zote in that one area. You know the one, probably. How else do I describe it? Let's see. Well, you know, you have to save the person, and then they'll give you the thing. Very descriptive, I know. Guys, so I just went back and collected the, Joni's Blessing charm. I don't know why, just for fun, I guess. You know, that one, I used this one quite a bit, but, apparently after you collect the Dream Nail, Joni actually appears. Ah, I see you bear my blessing. I can't remember giving it, but my memory has been a little lacking of late. It's the blue child. Ah, it's a child. Ah, that sucks. That's all you have to say. Isn't it just so peaceful here? Such a peaceful, perfect place to rest. Yeah, it sure is. Give me your soul. So, you might remember this girl who, well, remember we saved her and then she was like in love with, Zote. But, of course, Zote is dead now, so what does she do now? First of all, let's see what she thinks. My savior, so close. Remember, we're the one that, saved her and convinced her to go back home. So if we go into her house, see, look at that, there's like, first of all, there's a mask shard. Yeah, get more masks finally, jeez. As you can see, there's like a little doll of us right here, and then let's read this. The white savior, the maiden woke in darkness. Confused, she reached out. Sharp brambles jabbed at all sides. Burning acid bubbled close below. What nightmare had led her here? What hope of survival remained? Doomed she thought herself, and to despair she felt, until a light bloomed far in the distance, a bright, glowing spot fast approaching. It swept majestic about the thorns, leapt above burning waters, and dove towards the maiden. Coming close, the form revealed at last a beautiful being, sharp horns gleaming white. Arms reached out for the damsel, gathering her up, grip firm. If you couldn't tell, because Zote isn't here, she admires us now. It's actually, I believe it's more so the other way around, where she admires you first, but then once you like defeat Zote in the Colosseum of Fools and he comes up here, then she falls in love with him instead. From what I recall, it's more like that, but alright, that's all for now. Okay, so I'm in Deep Nest right now. Right here where... Oh, I don't have any pins, so I can't go deeper, but... Like, it's right by where the tram station is. Apparently Quirrell's down here, and I don't remember ever talking to him down here. Hello, hello, what a thrill it is to find such warm comfort amidst the den of beasts. This is a ferocious place, no doubt. Supposedly there's a village deep in the Warren. Its inhabitants never accepted Hollow Nest's king. Why not join me for a time? These waters do wonders for weary legs. And then just probably repeats that, yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of the recurring NPCs, like Quirrell. There were a couple others that I don't remember the name of, but Quirrell wasn't the only one. Ooh. Heh. Covers his face. You can kind of see, though, like, a hint that he might be related to one of the Dreamers. Because, like, you splash it and you see his face. I mean, it's the same face as this Dreamer in Fog Canyon. So it's kind of your hint that he might be related to them somehow. Alright, buddy. Defeated you. Whee! And there he goes. Got Defender's Crest. Saw him flailing around in the background. Now I actually know what this does, so I'm actually going to go ahead and get Yzma's properly now. But first, I wanted to see something. Ah, dang it. Did I do it in the wrong order? Dang it, I might have done this in the wrong order. Unless, let me try. Hello there, buddy. How are you? So apparently after you defeat this guy, you can actually come back here, and I guess if you wear the Defender's Crest, you can actually talk to him. Oh, it's you again. I'm glad to see your return. No, no, please. Don't say a word. I must apologize for my previous behavior. Entirely my fault. I mistook you for one of those mindless skulking husks, yet you bested me in the most majestic knightly fashion. Ah, you exude the proud odor of the just. Truly a mighty knight you are. Such joyful, vigorous combat. I'd almost forgotten the feeling. I was once a knight, you see. By the grace of our good king, I stood proudly before the throne, watching Hollow Nest swell to greatness. Then that nasty business with the affliction. We knights defend against the physical, but a formless enemy. How to defeat such a foe? Our king tried in his own way. A cruel means, was it? It was. And still, eventually, we were brought low. Bah! I shouldn't be so morose. You've invigorated me. 'Tis truly a delight to meet one whose strength can match my own. Go now, mighty warrior of Hollow Nest. You've proven your honor. Good fortune on the path ahead. Then he probably just repeats that. So yeah, you can talk to him and he'll give you some lore that he was actually a knight of the last king. So there were others. Mm-hmm. And he's even thinking that we look like the Pale Knight, or whatever. You know, like the actual Hollow Knight that was there. He knows about the plan, about the Knight's plans to, I guess, just, you know, how the Knights, how the King, like, kind of took, remember the Void Heart cutscene, when the King did stuff, and got, like, a hollow, the vessel, and now he's, like, taking care of the infection. Well, I guess, the knights knew about it, and if you remember, there were, like, those, there's a lot of, like, the White Defender stuff. You can see, like, the other knights and the king in the background, and then, like, when you defeat him, he gets all upset because he's like, I failed you. So yeah. So Luiginoids, I think I figured something out that I missed. So, throughout the fungal wastes, there was areas like these that didn't really seem to have anything in them. Like, you see, like, there's this alcove, but there's this thing. Like, it feels like there should be something here. But, I mean, doesn't really look like it. But, similar to the, well, I have Spore Shroom equipped here, which, if you remember, was required for a certain, oh god, certain other piece of lore. Now I can read this. This border bounds the twisting, scratching things. Their dead sire, once of honored caste. Their sealed mother, but the common beast. No peace with them we make. So, although it's not on my map, to the left of us is what I believe they're referring to is Queen's Gardens and all of the like Mantis traders, because you know it's like Trader Lord is like their name and stuff. And I believe, I want to say that's what it's referring to. Could also be referring to Deep Nest, because that's like right below it. But yeah, so there's a bunch of lore around the fungal wastes that I just never found because I never um went there with Spore Shroom. Alright, so another thing is that I am here at the distant village. And let's see if what I believe here is true. We'll see. Does this guy still spawn here? Looks like he does. You came. I've already read this dialogue, but I'll read it again. The red flame have gathered from this dead kingdom. You would claim it. For our master. For his final act. The ritual plays itself out once more. We are like the notes in an old, old song. You and me. Endless, repeating songs of sacrifice, of servitude. For the ritual. For the troop. For the master. Even this child was born into invisible chains. So we serve, thus that has ever been. Yes? Take the flame then, it is why you came here. Thank you. Flame consumed. It is done, and yet, it is not merely by fortune that we meet here, in the darkest, furthest reaches of the world, where my master's scarlet eyes cannot see us. A song that never ends is no song at all. You take part in the ritual, yet I sense you truly have no master. Is it so? Perhaps together we can banish that livid flame and let this dead kingdom rest in peace. If you wish to silence the endless song, meet me where it began. But if you return to the master and complete the ritual, as long as you do it without regret, I will bear you no hatred. Alright. I just wanted to go through that again to remind y'all that in order to that was one of the things we 100% missed, is figuring out how to banish them, the Grim Troop, instead of working with them. So presumably we need to go back to where we activated this. Now, the question is, will whatever the banishment entails be as difficult as, like, the Nightmare King Grim, which was very hard last time. The first phase really isn't that bad, but the second fight, oh boy, that one was hard, so I wonder if it'll be equivalently hard. But I have other stuff I want to do in Deep Nest first. Okay, I promise we'll get back to the achievements soon, but there's another unsolved mystery here in Kingdom's Edge. Towards like the middle of this room over here. There was this thing that I never figured out what to do with. Hey, you can fly by striking down. But, so, in this episode, or I guess right now, we will figure out what's going on with him. Or whatever that is. I mean, it seems like it's a person of some kind. So, I'm realizing that I don't think I ever went up here. I think I always just went immediately back to the left whenever I would explore this room, and don't think I ever went all the way to the top. Hey, look, there's something in the background there. First of all, I just want to show this off. There's a lifeblood cocoon way up top here that you have to wall jump to get. And then keep climbing. There's these guys that are very annoying and will take away my hearts immediately because that's how they roll. Because I am so bad at dodging them for some reason. I was only partially thinking that. Like, god dang. Anyway, you may have noticed something in the background that seemed kind of odd. Look, I think there's more of it. There's a pit right there. And there's this thing. He has a tiny face. Oh, tiny thing. You climb high. Seek then knowledge of these lands. This ashen place is grave of Wyrm. Once told it came to die, but what is death for that ancient being? More transformation, methinks. This failed kingdom is product of the being spawned from that event. Is it you bothering at my tail? Rest is somewhat disturbed, but I find that sensation not unpleasant. This falling ashes molt, the Wyrm's corpse decaying, endless, serene, sad. With its light gone, the world is smaller. Don't mistake, I am not a Wyrm. Or too small I am. Too many limbs. No foresight like these old things. For quiet retreat I did climb up here, away from spitting creatures. Yes, high up, away from simple minds, lost to light. Theirs is a different kind of unity, rejection of the Wyrm's attempt at order. I resist the light's allure. Union it may offer, but it also a mind bereft of thought. To instinct alone, a bug is reduced. Be on your way then? Its rest I'll return to, though in these times sleep oft proves uneasy. And then probably just repeats that. And then what does he think? One prefers its mind not be pride. It is rather unsettling, rather invasive. One of few creatures that can tell when we're reading its mind. So yeah, this thing apparently is not a Wyrm. It is way too small. But he's pretty large for being not big enough. And apparently this falling stuff is the Wyrm's corpse decaying. I wish I could explain it better, but I don't think I can exactly. But I think if you remember where we got the King's brand, there was like a Wyrm's thing. And so that's probably what it's referring to. I mean, it was a pretty big thing. So, yeah, see, there it is on the background. This thing is like a giant centipede or something. And so, I guess that's all I have to say. It's just interesting to finally know where that tail went. You know, this is the Coliseum of Fools, by the way, in case you're curious. Like, go inside and it's clearly Coliseum of Fools. You know, this place, we went here a couple times. This kind of looks like it could be a Wyrm. Certainly pretty massive. So I wonder if this is the thing that's flaking down. And they just built a Coliseum in the guts of an old, well, I've always thought of Wyrm as referring to dragon, but could be wrong. It's a weird interaction. It looks like, that's like Spore Shroom plus Defender's Crest. Huh, so I guess you just don't have to fight Zode at the end of the first round if you never meet him, or if you never save him. Oh, I mean, it makes sense, but there's no replacement bosses, which is somewhat surprising. Alright, directly to the right here is where we started the flame. Let's see what happens when we try to put it back. So you followed me here to where the ritual began. You enjoyed me in breaking it then? It is painful to defy the master, but our harvest, it profanes this dark, quiet kingdom. This once, I would see the ritual fail. Now, let us destroy the anchor and banish the master. Never shall he return here again. Somehow, I doubt it'll be that easy. Oof. Oh man, he was banished too. Whatever creature was here is gone. We don't have our Grim Child anymore either. Yeah, Grim Child charm is gone now. Aha! Good riddance. That creepy carnival has vanished and the town's returned to its former self. Nice and quiet, as I like it. And we've gained a new addition to the square. I found the fellow just outside of town. Seemed a little confused at first. Claims to be from far away, though he's hazy on the details. Whatever his past, he's a rather good musician, and this town spent far too long listening only to the wind. Thanks to him, we've gained a new tune and some company. Alright, let's lock it in. And hey, since we locked it in, we got the banishment achievement for banishing them. Ah, hello, hello. I'm new around these parts, so it's marvelous to see so friendly a face in such a sad town. The old bug over there was very welcoming, but I still find the place a little melancholy, what with the wind and the darkness and the sense of decline. I was hoping my music could go some way to livening up the place. And now you've arrived with that wonderful, charming aura about you. The whole town feels brighter for it. Before you hurry about your business, I have a small gift to commemorate a wonderful new friendship. No use for it myself, but I believe it would look rather fancy upon you. Please enjoy it, and let's hope, I'm pretty sure that's the wrong let's. And let's hope to see much more of one another about town. We have the Carefree Melody Charm, which is of course unobtainable if you complete the Grim Child quest. Let's see here. Contains a song of protection that may defend the bearer from damage. So, the question is this the charm that I was thinking of, where it makes it so that you only take 1 damage per hit, or is it just will randomly block hits? Anyway, wow, that was, by the way, this guy is definitely, that guy that we helped out. Let's see what he has to think. Why did I choose to travel here? And how far must I have come to forget the origin entirely? Yeah. Man, that's so weird that the banishment is so much easier than actually fighting Nightmare King Grim, but, oh boy. Well, there we go. That was another one of the achievements that we missed. Or was that the first one that we got? I don't remember anymore. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, I've taken it upon myself to grab all of the pale ore in the game, because we're getting another achievement here. I'm just gonna reread this dialogue because it'll be relevant here. It's done. 3 forging is done. It's much stronger. Okay. Finally, I behold the majesty of a pure nail. To think that this moment has come upon me so soon. I must step outside a moment. Sorry, I think I wanted this dialogue.
Ah,
With a pure nail
Ronjo
forged, my
Senja.
work in this lifetime comes to an end. My only remaining desire is to see and feel the nail strike true. I beg you, cut me down. As my final moment in life, I want to taste the blade's exquisite edge. After all this time, all this toil, haven't I earned it? Nah. Yeah, you can just ignore it. And then, well, you'll see. Alright. So, it's been a while since we've been here, but this was the Nail Master, that needed, that loved to paint. And so, we can come here now and see that they're sculpting together. Oh, look who's joined us. We have quite a merry crowd now, don't we? This fellow came wandering into my hut, quite distraught and on his own quest for a new calling in life. We talked and found a common love of creating and building and honing a craft. So now we make art together. It's good to have company. I hadn't realized how lonely I was. It's like being with my brothers again. Stay with us if you like.
Ronjo
Oh, hello,
Senja.
traveler. How strange that we should meet again in a world as vast as this. I must thank you for not killing me when I asked you to. I was irritated at first, but I had some time to think up there, and I soon saw the wisdom in your decision. The world is made of more than metal and weapons. I set out exploring, and soon found my way here. Shio is a master of many arts, and has promised to teach me what he can. I think I'll be quite happy here. And now we have happy couple. I don't know what about that implies that they're a couple, but what do you think, my brother? Or, okay, he's just gonna say the same thing. So yeah, I think this only happens if you, like, have the great slash nail art from Shio, and you have the pure nail. Oh
Ronjo
yeah,
Senja.
interesting. We're building a full suite of the kingdom's knights. In their time, I barely ever paid attention to them, but Shio keenly remembers each. It's so refreshing. Nothing like the crude practice of nail work. I just love all the intricate details. As you can see here, this one has a striking resemblance to the Dung Defender. What do you say a second time? That art you've learned, the Cyclone Slash. That was always Mato's favorite. Oh, did they have unique dialogue for if you get the other nail arts? It must have made him ecstatic to have a pupil like you. He always wanted to pass down what he'd learned to a new generation. He was not the most skilled pupil himself, but his enthusiasm and his kindness set him apart. I'm glad he achieved what he desired for so long. To be a teacher. Building these models takes patience and a light touch. It's worth it, though, seeing the grand old Knights of Hollowness come to life before our eyes. Mighty Hegemon was always my favorite. What a towering figure he was, though surprisingly soft-spoken for one so large. They were all impressive in their own right, of course. Fierce Drya, kindly Yzma. Yzma? Wait, Yzma was one of the knights? Mysterious Zemir? And the other... Wait. Zemir? Isn't that... Isn't that the Grey Mourner? Oh boy. I did not realize how much stuff was connected here. Uh... Because... Or maybe the Grey Mourner knew Zemir. Because she definitely mentioned Zemir. And the other one. And is that all you say? I think so. So, are any of these the Dung Defender, do you think? I don't really know his name, but he says his favorite is Hegemol, and he's working on the Dung Defender right now. This is fabulous. I believe my claw is capable of such deft construction. So what do you think now? An age spent toiling alone. This is much nicer. Alright, I don't see what about this implies that, like, happy couple usually implies, you know, dating or marriage. None of that implies that they're, like, you know, in that kind of relationship. But, whatever. So, with that, there is only one more thing that I want to cover in this video. Hopefully. We'll see, but hopefully. Alright. Well, I say let's see what the Carefree Melody does. I've chosen an area that I think has a high probability of me taking damage. Case in point. I'm going to go to the Mantis Lord, Trader Lord, which I know for a fact deals 2 damage with each hit. I'm going to see if Carefree Melody makes it so that we only take 1 damage from each of its hits. Because if that's the case, that might make Nightmare King Grim bearable. But, of course, they are mutually exclusive. Oof. Dash is a lot harder to make without the Shade Dash. I'll explain why I didn't choose this, get the Shade Dash in a second. Oh, I just realized I can't fight Trader Lord without Shade Dash. Yeah, because of that. Alright, well, there's other bosses that deal 2 damage with each hit, most notably, dream bosses. Let me just run into him a couple times. There it is. See, I don't think it'll reduce it. It's like, yeah, it seems like it's a random chance every time you get hit. It'll just make it so that you don't actually get hit. Which does mean that it will probably prevent 2 damage on that one boss. It's probably useful in like the White Palace. Because, you know, there it means every so often you don't have to wait for Hive Blood to recharge before taking more attempts. Alright, well, I guess that's it for here. Just realized I probably can't go back this way anyway. Alright, whatever, I'll just see you soon. Man, it seems like it's not the most likely chance. Because I'm taking quite a bit of damage here. I don't know if it actually does trigger on spikes now that I think about it. It might not be able to trigger on hazards like that. Alright, well, if it can though, then it's a rare enough chance to where it's not worth it. You know, I think this guy plays a remix of the town theme, which obviously makes sense because he's in the town, but I don't know, I just thought that was cool. Anyway, so, we are at the final objective of the video. I'm going this direction, which, as you may remember, is a specific location that's very important to this game, being the Temple of the Black Egg. But something's a little different this time, don't you think? Such as a certain someone not being here. Wonder where she went. Probably went off to help us do stuff. Whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and inspect this. Get the completion tracker. See how much we did here. Let's check it out. 60%. So, you might notice, this is only the Mothwing Cloak. I did not grab the Shade Cloak. And also, I didn't grab the other two spells. So, part of this run, I wanted to see if it was possible to, like, just completely skip the Descending spell, but, and it turns out you can, because, like, normally the game seems to, like, push you in the direction of getting it, but, whatever. In the meantime, I want to talk about this Mothwing Cloak versus Shade Cloak. So, in order to get to the Shade Cloak, we need to go down. Well, we need to fight Hornet for the second time and grab the King's Brand, which will allow us to go into the Abyss, which then gets to the Shade Cloak. And then when you come back up, Hornet will kind of talk to you about being one with your darkness, I think. So, well, okay, maybe the rest will be a little spoilery, but let's see, what are we gonna do for final boss? We'll see how hard this thing is without the Shade Cloak. Alright. I don't know, that seems like about the time that Hornet would have stopped him by now. Oh. Well, there he is. He's dead. I think. Oh, now we absorb him. And this is looking very similar to when we fought him with Hornet. So it's gonna be black at the end, right? Yep. Alright. This sequence should look very familiar. Because with this ending, we become the next knight. And look, Hornet's face isn't on the egg this time. Because in this ending, Hornet never tried to help out because we never proved ourselves to her. And we got the achievement, the Hollow Knight. So, according to what I've looked up, once you get the Void Heart by collecting the 2 halves of the King's Soul, and then, going into the Abyss, and then grabbing the Void Heart, once you do that, you are locked out of this ending, because, Hornet will always appear inside of the Black Egg Temple. But I didn't want to risk going into the Abyss at all, so I didn't even bother. Like, because I thought I remembered, like, Hornet appearing at the top after you got the Shade Cloak, not after you, collected Void Heart. So I wanted to, so just to be on the safe side, I did that, which means I never got King's Brand as well. But as you can see, it's clearly not needed because that boss is really easy by this game's standards, which I find kind of odd. I mean, I've gotten better at a lot of the bosses over playing it so much, and I did also end up buying the game on Steam so that I could play the randomizer. Luckily, it was the end of year sale, so it was only $7.50, which is like I've spent more on things I've used less than I've been using the randomizer. So yeah, because of that, I've been getting pretty good at these bosses, and who knows, maybe I'll even be able to. Maybe I'll even be able to do the Pantheon one of these days. Although I don't know, some of those like arena changes are what makes some of those difficult, if you ask me. But yeah, that's kind of all there was for this video. I'm going to go ahead and check the achievement list and make sure that I got all the achievements that I planned on doing. And then, special thanks to that. You can actually set it so that it lists each individual backer and what they accomplished. Congratulations! Yay, we triumphed. We'll meet again soon on the road ahead. Buddy, it's been 7 years since you started that. We'll see if by the time this comes out. Yeah, we'll see if Silk Song's out by the time this video, or at least a release date, is announced. Anyway, yeah, that still took over 10 hours, just me doing that. To be fair, I was faffing around, not doing things very optimally. Just experimenting with the order in which you could do stuff. I believe I showed some of it, but... Alright, let's take a look at our quests here. We got a couple of achievements here that we haven't gotten. Those will be covered later. And then pretty much all of these are for Pantheons. These secrets. Like, yeah, all of these secret achievements are for completing various Pantheons in Godhome. And then there's of course pure completion. But yeah, so that was everything we needed to do on our second playthrough. Of course, there were a couple of like various Wanderers journals and stuff that I didn't collect, but I didn't feel the need to show those. So, that'll do it for this episode. In the next one, we still got some achievements here that require some more planning. So, until next time, goodbye.